Hey guys, how are you? Pete Olson, the Montana Silver Stacker. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Hope you had a great weekend. And today I want to talk a little bit about how should you own your silver and gold? You know, what way should you do it? Physical silver and gold versus silver and gold ETFs like SLV on the stock market or GLD. And I'm a firm believer for long-term wealth protection that you need to own physical silver and gold. Again, I'm a believer in that if you can't touch it, you don't own it. All right, let me say that again. If you can't touch it, you don't own it, right? And so a silver and gold ETF is just really just a metals-backed IOU. That's all it is. Those IOUs could default. If the system went down, you're never going to get your metals. Never going to get your metals. Plus, everyone in an ETF like SLV or GLD, if they all went in and requested their metals, there's no way that they could deliver those metals to all the people because they sell a lot more shares of those ETFs than they have metals available. And I forgot the exact number. I'd have to take a look at it. But it's extreme. It's extreme. When you own an ETF, you actually don't own title to the metal. You just don't. You definitely don't want to trust your precious metals to an intermediary, if you will, a financial intermediary. You want to be able to order your metals and have them arrive at your doorstep in under a week in business days. That's the key, where you have physical possession. Another huge disadvantage, as I wrote down some notes here, is delivery failure if you have an ETF, right? Or the actual silver and gold being encumbered in some way. Who knows what way? But they manipulate those numbers and they do a lot of commingling of metals, et cetera, et cetera. So that's not a good thing. Another thing you have to be concerned with is the fees that are associated with ETFs. The fees eat up a lot of the profits that you have when you have metals. When you have just the physical metal, there are no fees, right? Especially when you have them at home in your safe, there is no storage fees or lockbox fees or whatever the case may be. It's just the metals are there. There's no fee for having them in your home safe, right? Some of the ETFs, and this is really interesting, this is something that I didn't know. Some of the ETFs have actually cooked their books. And when I say cook the books, as I mentioned, the commingling, the leases on the metals, et cetera, you don't know what that financial institution is doing. I mean, look at what all the central banks are doing, guys. Look how crooked these banks are. We're finding all this out. The Fed, all the central banks, so on and so forth. We realize our whole banking system is a debt-based system. I mean, it's just, and they'll do anything, print money out of thin air to make this whole system go on. So can you really trust that financial institution? I know I'd rather have the physical. It's with me. No one can mess with it. No one can manipulate it. No one can do anything to it. If you're going to do, guys, if you're going to hold the physical, which I recommend, again, I don't think it's a good idea to have the physical in another location. It's got to be a location that you can get to quickly and no one knows about, so to speak. I don't recommend having them in a bank. Right, in a safe deposit box. What happens when the bank closes? You're screwed. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get those metals, right? I don't recommend having them in some kind of storage facility somewhere else. What if they go out of business? You're screwed. I personally recommend having your metals in a safe, an excellent safe somewhere at your home. And I've had zero security concerns with that. That's the way I prefer it. So I can touch it. I own it. I know it's there, etc., etc. And I've got it right there with all my weapons and so on and so forth. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling. But guys, I would say if there's one advantage of an ETF is that you can get in and out very, very quickly, right? If you're looking to do that. But for the people that are looking to go long-term, physical metals are the only way to go. And actually, guys, remember too, even when you have physical metals, I can get cash for my metals in 15, 20 minutes, spot price. You go to any coin shop in town, pawn shop, etc., etc. My coin shop gives spot price. So it's like having my own bank. Let's say I needed some extra money for a bill. I need some extra money for whatever the case may be. An emergency came up. I can go down, cash in a certain amount of silver, get the cash, and do it. But I'd rather hold my money, my green, worthless paper dollars, in an appreciating asset like silver as opposed to holding in cash, because I can always go get cash. Takes me 15 minutes from the time I get the metals in my basement and go to my local store. So I hope that made sense, guys. Again, overall, physical silver and gold is the way to go for long-term wealth protection. If you can't touch it, you don't own it. There's too many things that can go wrong with the ETFs, especially as we head into a season of chaos, as we're about to head into. You don't know what can happen to those ETFs. They could shut everything down. If all the silver and gold you own are only electronic digits and the system goes bad or we have an absolute collapse, you're screwed. I want those metals at my fingertips, okay? If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Please share it with all your social media outlets. If you could do that for me, I certainly would appreciate. Feel free to comment below. Keep the comments positive. And guys, I run North America for a company called ISN. I am the Gold and Silver Director in North America. We're a 6-year-old international mainstream precious metals dealer out of Sarasota, Florida. And when I say mainstream, we have every product available in silver and gold. We have some of the most competitive prices in the world, oftentimes beating APMEX and government. And delivery times, we have the best delivery times in the world, 5 to 7 business days. It's phenomenal. So if you're interested in a home-based business opportunity in silver and gold, a big 6-figure position, click on that link below, take the online tour, fill out the survey, and I'll get hold of you. I'm looking forward to it. God bless you guys. Have a great Tuesday. Thanks so much.